Friday, which means it's another episode of People Like You. My name is Emmanuel Osasir, your online personal trainer and wellness coach, and today I met with a very special guest, Miss Keri Whitmire. And so I've met Keri through a mutual friend, and she's someone that follows Daily Fit Boost, and she reached out to me, I reached out to her, we started talking about fitness, and then before you know it, I was like, you know what, Keri would be a great guest to have on, and she agreed to do it, so very grateful to have you on. Keri, go ahead and introduce us. Introduce yourself.
Okay, so I am a wife and a mother of two, and I just kind of like help people like learn about like healthy eating and like how to kind of like be healthy from the inside out, like as far as like things you're eating and then like things that you're putting on your skin also. So like
Nice.
Non-toxic products and stuff like that.
Nice.
So.
Okay, I'm excited to get into this. So let's talk about, I always like to start with my guests, the genesis of your fitness journey. Where did it begin? What got you into it? What was the turning point for you to start working out consistently or get involved in healthcare, whatever that means for you?
Okay, so originally, like as far as fitness goes, a few years back we moved here, and before that we lived in Kentucky, and I was working out regularly. Like I, 3 to 4 times a week was doing like CrossFit type stuff and just really a lot of fitness stuff. And then when we moved here, I stopped that, and so I kind of started gaining weight. I was also pregnant at the time, and so I knew that I needed to do something. So I kind of started looking into like eating healthier and stuff like that, and it confused me. It confused the crap out of me. I was like, I don't even know macros and like counting calories and all this stuff. I was like, I don't even know what to do. So I have a friend who, she introduced me to like a healthy eating group that she does, and so I was able to do that, and it like really broke it down for me. I was really like, I was able to. I was like, what does that mean? I was able to really focus on like more, just like, what is that? Healthy eating, but like not tracking calories, not like, it's more about like ingredients and what I was like putting into my body.
Right.
And that helped a lot because I learned about how like your body holds on to toxins that like come through food or products that you put on your body.
Right.
And so your body stores fat in order to protect itself from toxins, like in its organs and stuff.
Right.
So I guess it kind of started as far as right now where I'm at eating healthy. It started a couple years ago when I like started learning about like healthy eating and like what exactly that was. I guess.
Nice. So that's a lot to unpack. This is perfect. So, because I personally like talking about the nutritional aspect. I think most people don't have a hard time with the exercise. Like if you want to lose weight, for example, I feel like most people accept the fact that you have to get moving, but they don't realize that about 70 to 80% is what you put into your body, how you take care of yourself. So with what you just said right now, I try to always simplify, and I'm sure there's like 1,001 different ways to lose weight, right? It's always going to come back to calories in versus calories out. So what's been some methods that you've been able to simplify eating a certain way or eating healthy or eating portion that's worked for you, that's kind of simplified?
I actually don't focus on calories as much. The only time I do is when I feel like I'm not getting enough.
Right.
Because I know that my body needs a certain amount of calories so it doesn't go into starvation mode and then store fat also. Since I am not working out as much as I should with like 2 kids and having to juggle all of that, I do some home workouts and stuff like that, but really it's the eating. So I don't know. I just really like try to focus on eating a lot of like vegetables and like whole grains, or staying away from things like dairy and stuff like that. I know it's like kind of different for each person, and stuff like that. But like my thing is like trying to stay away from dairy, gluten, and excess sugar, which is in everything. So it's kind of difficult. And then eating a lot of like vegetables and whole foods, like whole foods, things that I know what's in them. I guess I can read the ingredient label.
Yeah, for sure. I had a friend, my friend Jordan. She came on episode 9, and she actually lost. Well, she was big, and then she got small, and then she got big again, and then she got small again. So she actually lost weight twice.
Oh.
But she was able to keep it off the second time with more of a consistent eating habit. And so she shared about that because she didn't go into the gym at all either. She lost weight just in the kitchen alone.
Okay.
And so that's why I love when people are able to share like the nutritional aspect of it. I think it's so important.
Yeah, and I think it's really important, like focusing on it being a lifestyle instead of just like a crash diet type thing, you know? You just really have to be consistent with things. And I do a lot of like an 80-20 like type thing. So like 80% of the time I'm eating like really, really, really healthy. But then I don't like deprive myself, you know? Like at 20% of the time I'm like, you know, drinking a drink that I want to drink, or like eating cake or whatever, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think it's so cool to just have the mindset that, yes, working out is one part, but just what I eat and how because I look at food as fuel as well too. And so what you put into your body is going to also help you in the gym if you decide to take that route. So you've worked with other people. Do you work with like general populations as far as helping them with?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So with that being said, what are some stumbling blocks that you see for a lot of people when they're trying to eat better? We'll just call it eating better, whatever that means.
A lot of the times I think people are afraid that they're not going to be able to they're not going to be able to eat a certain way. Because, like, Western diet is very, like, there's sugar in everything, there's fillers and just all kinds of stuff, and everything is just so, like, fatty and, like, fried and all, you know, it's just kind of gross.
Right.
And so, you know, people think that they're not going to be able to eat that way, but, you know, really you just have to find a good substitute for that. You know, kind of like if you like pizza, you know, pizza's not the healthiest food. But if you figure out how to maybe make pizza at home and like cut out the dairy on it, like cut the cheese out, or like, you know, I don't know, not do like gross meats that's like super, you know, packed with weird stuff from, you know, like just kind of figure out how to make it on your own, and like, or finding ingredients that can be good for it, if that makes sense. So like just really not thinking of it as like a deprivation thing, but like just replacing it with something different.
Right.
So, because that's a big one. People are like, well, I still want to eat my cake, or I still want to eat my ice cream and my pizza. It's like, well, then eat that. Just figure out how to eat it healthier.
Right. And to that point too, I'm really big on, well, two things. First of all is listening to your body. Like your body will let you know when it feels crappy. Why does your body feel crappy? Because you're putting too much stuff. Just simple stuff like that is what I try to teach people. And also portion size control as well too, I think is huge. Like you, I'm very big on everything in moderation, not depriving yourself of anything. I try to eat tight Sunday through Friday. Sunday through Thursday, and then Friday's kind of hit or miss. Saturday is usually like kind of like my lenient day and everything. But as you get, and especially as we get older too, you know, we'll have to adjust. We have to change as far as like how we're just able to function.
Yeah.
Like I said, food is fuel, and so another part of it is talk about how hydration is important as well too. Water intake. How do you feel about that?
Oh, it's super important. Obviously. You want to make sure you're getting, you know, enough water. It like flushes your system, also like helps you feel fuller, plus just keeps your body functioning like properly. I mean, hydration is super key. So it's just one of those things that, I don't know, I feel like I don't talk about that often because I feel like it's an obvious thing, but then sometimes you're like, oh wait, this is not, like, hey, make sure you're drinking a lot of water. Water's tricky because like you can drink a lot of water. Like I read this in a book, I don't know, or maybe a quote. It said water is a good thirst quencher, but it's not a good hydrator. And so it's kind of like you have to know how much like sodium and potassium to balance it out with. Otherwise, like I've had days like when I was in my early
workout days, I would have like these gallon jugs that I would chug, and I would pee, but I would never be hydrated. And so now I'm like, okay, how can I share with people how to balance out water? Maybe I can teach people like potassium-based foods like spinach and bananas and stuff like that to kind of balance that out.
Yeah.
Because I think dehydration is like, I mean, most people know, like, you get lethargic, you get nauseated, dizzy, and so.
Yeah, and especially here in Bakersfield.
Yeah, with the Bakersfield heat, definitely not fun. So a lot of and I actually had some other mothers on as well too in some of the other earlier episodes. So for our listeners who have kids, how do you balance taking care of yourself and your husband as well, and also like taking care of your kids with their nutrition and meal prepping and all that stuff?
So I'm actually fortunate enough to stay at home, so I have it a little bit easier, I guess, than some moms who are, working outside the house and stuff like that. But I really just focus on kind of like trying to set an example, like leading by example. So I, and getting them involved with like healthy eating and stuff like that. So, I don't know, like I have them help me prep meals for themselves, like for them, and helping me wash vegetables, maybe chop some stuff, and
getting them involved.
Really get them involved in that. I don't know if that was really the question, like how I balance it, but I guess that's just kind of how I get them involved.
Right. And as you continue to do that, you start to get like a routine, a habit-based thing to where they kind of know what to expect, maybe.
Yeah.
Get into that, because I think that's a big part of eating is just having your shopping day, having your cooking day, what works for you. For me personally, I do my shopping and my cooking both on Sunday. It's just easier, it works, and makes sense with my schedule. So. Yeah,
I do think it's really important to have like maybe a day set aside where you sit and like menu plan or meal prep, however you want to do it, and then like planning a designated day to go shopping. I think that's the hardest part with my husband and I. We only have one car, and so he works full time, and like trying to balance out when we go grocery shopping and stuff. So having a day that's really set aside for grocery shopping, it's like, nope, this is on the calendar, this is when we're going grocery shopping. Because if you don't have, the healthy stuff to make your healthy food with, it's not going to happen, and then you're just going to go to Taco Bell.
Right.
So it's just,
Yeah, for sure. And like to that point too, I found this year that if I don't cook or if I don't have anything in the fridge already prepared by the time I'm hungry, then it's a wrap. Like I gotta have everything set and done before I'm hungry. Otherwise, it is easier to go to, like you said, Carl's Jr. or whatever down the street and stuff. So I've learned like I can't just cook what I'm eating for lunch at work. I also have to cook for the evenings as well too, even if it's a shake or whatever. So.
Yeah, especially with kids too, like, you get tired by the end of the day, and so if you don't already have something in place to like cook or like, oh, I'm making this, like, you don't have to like think about it or whatever, because a lot of times they'll be like, oh, I'm too tired, I don't even want to think about what I'm making. But if it's already in place, it's like, okay, you just throw this in the oven or like whatever.
Yeah, for sure. So you said you talked about earlier you work with clients, or?
Yes.
Yeah, so kind of share with us what that's about, what you're doing in other people's lives, and how you're making an impact. Really
Sure.
About that.
So I have a 30 Days to Healthy Living group, which basically people, come in the group, and we teach them about like healthy eating habits, and give recipes and shopping lists and things like that, and then like coach them through the 30 days. And basically it's like detoxing their body of things like gluten, sugar, dairy, things like that. And so it sounds so rough, and you're just like, well, what am I supposed to eat like during that? And there really is so much that you can still eat during that. But anyway, it's only for 30 days. And then after that 30 days, they reintroduce things into like in their body, and see like maybe if they have an intolerance to that or something like that. So like for me, the first time that I did it, I like reintroduced dairy and gluten, and
after taking it off for 30
days.
Yes,
after taking it out for 30 days, I reintroduced it, and I was so like bloated, and like my stomach hurt, like I had stomach issues, but I didn't realize because that was my normal. Like I just thought it was a normal thing.
Wow.
And so I was like, wow, I really need to like work on cutting this out. You know, there was some other stuff that was like, okay, I can have this, because like you said earlier, it depends on your body, and like listening to your body and like figuring out what works for you and what doesn't. So, but yeah, I've helped a lot of people figuring out what really works for them, what doesn't work for them. You know, it helps people with things like low blood pressure, high blood pressure. Like people have really balanced out like diabetes and stuff like that, and heart, you know, all kinds of stuff. So it's helped a lot of people, and it's really cool to see, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like we're helping you, like with, you know. And so especially people, so there's a lot of people who, you know, have genetics like with, you know, heart disease or diabetes or whatever, and it's really cool to see people like who are genetically prone to that but totally have it under control because of what they're eating and because of their healthy eating habits. So, because it's kind of like genetics is, I can't even remember the quote, but there's like once like genetics is the gun, but nutrition or like your lifestyle pulls the trigger. So it's kind of like one of those like yeah. So you just have to focus on your lifestyle and like, you know, just making sure that you're healthy and stuff. So yeah.
Lots of good stuff to take away from that. I want to go back to what you said with it's a 30-day cleanse, or what's the name of it?
A 30 days to healthy living.
Okay, is there a website that people can follow you or?
There is, yeah. It's through a company called Arbonne.
Okay.
And so it's, you know, KeriWhitmeyer.arbonne.com.
Yeah, I'll put it in the video link in the description box of this video. But yeah, that's super cool. So you said that taking people or taking things out for 30 days. So you said dairy, gluten, excess sugar and stuff for 30 days, and then reincorporating it little by little back in.
Yeah.
And that's so interesting how like your body can be cool with something as long as you continue to do it, and then you take it out and then you try to bring it back in, and it's just like, no, I never wanted that. Like I just got used to that. Like that's not how I want to feel.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really crazy, because, you know, I had just, it was just my normal. Like, that's just how I thought my body was. I thought, you know, like I was just, I don't know, a bloated person, I guess, you know, or whatever. But I had some pain and stuff like that. And, you know, after taking it all out, it, you know, had gone away. And then once I started reintroducing it, it was like, no, stop. Please don't put that in here. You know, so.
And what's interesting is I can imagine how like tough the resistance is, the initial resistance those first couple of days of this 30-day.
Yeah, it's basically like you're detoxing. And so, you know, people, it is kind of rough. Like, you know, people have, you know, said that they get headaches, or they're actually more tired, you know, eating healthier, but it's because their body is, you know, it doesn't want to get rid of that necessarily, like, and so, yeah.
Yeah, once it does. I've never heard of that method before. I'm very interested. Thank you for sharing that, for sure. Any goals that you have personally, as far as like your health and nutrition, or anything that's interests you that you think might be interesting for our listeners?
I mean, I don't know. My goal is just really to, just be as healthy as I can, help my family be as healthy as I can, and then share that with others and help them be as healthy as they can. Yeah. So I don't know.
And I think, well, I mean, to that point too, I mean, the goal with that alone, what you just said, is just the consistency, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I'm a big fan of consistency. Like I mentioned earlier, routine and habit. And so the longer that you're able to do something, I mean, because I'm not interested in doing something for a couple of months just to go back to the same lifestyle.
Yeah.
So once you sound like you have your system down, you have your family involved in that system, and now the secret or the main power behind that is just to keep it going as a lifestyle. Yeah. I guess like in short, I'm not interested in doing anything or eating in a way or prepping in a way that I can't do for the rest of my life. So
yeah.
Once you have that system down, then it's the consistency that builds in.
Yeah, you just kind of have to find what works for you, like how to meal prep or how to do, you know, what works with your lifestyle.
Absolutely.
I guess there's no really right or wrong, I guess.
Yeah. Well, with coaches like you, you're definitely helping people to do just that and making it a lot easier for. I love hearing about that type of stuff. At the end of each episode, I like for our guests to just share one piece of and you've shared a lot of great stuff, one piece of advice, one thing that's helped you, maybe a mantra that you live by, a quote that you'd like to share with our listeners to kind of encourage them along their fitness journey.
Okay, so a big one that helped me out, like when I very first started into this, is like, don't food stereotype. I kind of hit on it a little bit earlier, but so I was having a conversation with my son, and he was saying stuff like, blueberries are healthy, but pizza is unhealthy. You know, strawberries are healthy, ice cream is unhealthy. Yeah. Did I opposite that? I don't know. Anyway, you get my drift.
Yeah.
But I kind of, like, in the back of my head, I was thinking, like, you know, but ice cream can be healthy. Like, if you make it at home, like, do, like, coconut milk and, like, substitute something, you know, honey for, like, refined sugar or whatever. So, like, don't think of it as, like, a food stereotyping thing. Like, pizza's unhealthy. Like, just think of it as, like, the ingredients. What the ingredients are in that pizza. Yeah. Those are unhealthy, but like the pizza itself is not.
Right.
So if that makes sense.
I really like that. It does. It makes perfect sense. And to that point too, I like how you said it. It's not really the food; it's the ingredients that go into it. Two things real quick. So like to that point, hamburgers have a negative connotation because when you think hamburgers, you think fast food. When you think fast food, you think, you know, preservatives and all this other stuff. Yeah. But I mean, when you think about it, like 50% of it is fruits and veggies. I mean, it's veggies. You have tomatoes, you have lettuce, you have pickles, and then if you make them at home, like you said, then you can use whatever type of meat. I mean, they have vegan burgers now, and just like I had Maritza on episode 6, and she talked about, you know, the vegan diet. She lives the vegan lifestyle, and it's amazing how like vegans have figured out a way to make any and every. I'm sure there's a vegan ice cream. Like it's amazing. So I love how you worded that with the ingredients.
Yes. I think it's super important.
Yeah.
A lot of times too, people will think that just because it's low calorie or fat free, like it's healthier, and you're like, well, they have to get, like, it tastes the same basically, so it's like, well, what did they use in place of the sugar? Right. Like artificial stuff, artificial sweeteners and flavors and all this stuff, so it's actually worse for you because it's not real food, you know, so just focusing on real food and whole food. Yes,
you're sharing so much knowledge with me and my listeners. I love it. All right, so at the end of each episode, I like to lighten it up and have a little bit of fun and ask you some rapid, quick-fire questions to see how your mind works. These are random. First things that come to your mind. Kay, here you go. Are you ready?
Okay.
All right, the first thing Keri thinks of when she wakes up.
It's too early.
It's too early. You're not an early bird.
No.
Kids, right. No. Sleep deprived.
Yes.
Would you rather be a master of every musical instrument or be fluent in every language?
Ooh, every language.
Every language, yeah, me too. Would you rather be a deep sea diver or an astronaut?
Oh no, that's a hard one.
Deep below or out in space?
Oh, no. Probably deep sea diver.
Deep sea diver, yeah, lots of cool animals and sea animals and stuff. I agree. Would you rather take a guaranteed $100,000 or a 50-50 shot at $1 million?
Probably the guaranteed.
Yeah, me too. Tacos or pizza?
Ooh, tacos.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Breakfast or dinner?
Breakfast.
Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
Money or free time?
Oh,
everybody always pauses on
us. You can have both. Ooh, money, I guess.
Yeah, keep it real. Beach or mountain?
I don't have free time with my kids. So
right.
It's about the same.
Right. Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Winter or summer?
Summer.
What did you want to be as a kid growing up?
Ooh, so a marine biologist.
Really?
Yeah.
Like sea animals?
Yes.
And that's where
but I like space too, which is why that one was such a hard.
Right.
But
right. Yeah. Marine bio. I actually took a class in high school about it. I was just paying more attention. This is 9th grade. I wasn't paying attention, but it seems interesting in retrospect for sure. Yeah. One famous person, dead or alive, you'd love to have dinner with.
Oh wow. Well, the first person that popped in my head was Robin Williams. So,
the late great. Yeah, for sure. That'd be pretty cool. And then, if you could be any animal in the world, what would it be and why?
Ooh. I don't really know a specific one, but probably some kind of bird. So, because they're just free. Like, they get to fly everywhere and they're not confined to just one spot or even just on land. So,
I like birds. Good answer. Good answer. Well, hey, that wraps up this episode. I really enjoyed it. You shared a lot. I mean, I learned a bunch of new stuff, and like I said, the link is in the video description for your website. And I just wish you the best of luck with encouraging people and helping people change their lives. And just thank you for your time.
Cool. Thanks so much.